Hi guys, it's Mina and Zen. We're gonna do a quick re-pour for you today. I wanted to show you a couple things. Say hi everybody. Stay safe. Anyway, we're gonna re-pour on this canvas. That's a 24 by 24 inch gallery wrapped. That's been there for a while. I'm not crazy about it, so we're gonna fix it. That one I wanted to show you. This is Awakening. This is the one that I did not film, but I really love how this one turned out. So pretty, and this was the comb wrecked ring pour that we did. So we're gonna play with that idea some more and maybe some different shapes. And I have a couple other ones that you've probably seen already at this point. All right, let me show you my colors real fast. We have here DecoArt Americana Decor Satin Enamels. This one is warm white, and I have added a little bit of the Artist Loft Flow Acrylic in white. So that's real pretty. The next one is Jenkin's Green from Golden's. Very, very pretty color. This one dries nice and deep. It's like the Payne's grit, but there's lumps in it. It's driving me nuts today. What's up with that? Okay, so that's Jenkin's Green. It's like the Payne's gray of greens. Dries nice and dark. So I'm very excited about that one. I also have Golden's Turquoise Phthalo. Beautiful, beautiful, creamy, delicious, lovely color. So my pouring medium today is Liquitex Gloss Medium and Varnish and Floetrol, and all of these have water in them except for the 24 karat gold. So this one is DecoArt Americana Decor Metallics in 24 karat gold, leaving a mound on a mound. Beautiful stuff. Okay, and last but not least, Liquitex Basics Cadmium Yellow Deep. This is the last of my, actually I had to cut it open and like scrape it out. I'm gonna get some more. Okay, Cadmium Yellow Deep. All right, so you guys have heard me talk before about this color palette, the turquoise, the brown, the white, and a yellow. And usually I use the gold as the yellow, but I wanted to actually try it with the real yellow and with the Jenkin's Green. So this is what we're going for. We're gonna do a ring pour and we're gonna wreck it with the comb. So let's see what we want to do first. Ring pour. What goes in the middle? A little bit of gold. Okay, just a little bit. Just for a little bit of sparkle in there. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna start with some white. Just a little tiny bit of white because I don't want that like fish skeleton thing to happen. Okay, and we're gonna go into our turquoise, thicker layer of turquoise, and I'm gonna put some Dyke Brown there next. Okay, and we're gonna go into the Jenkin's Green. A little bit, and then the 24 karat. I don't really want the gold next to the Van Dyke Brown because sometimes it gets this like weird army green thing going on that I'm not crazy. What we already have kind of a dark army green thing. Okay, a little bit of white. Now when I'm using the white, you'll notice I'm using very thin layers because I do want the contrast, but if I put a lot of white in there, it's gonna mix and dull down my other colors. So thin layers of white. Thin layers of gold. Cool. Okay. Let's go some yellow. We have not used the yellow yet. And then turquoise. And you notice that the turquoise, I'm using much thicker layers because I want bigger sections of that. I want blocks of the turquoise to run the comb through. And I want thinner layers of other things to be the accents. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the brown. Okay, and go back to the Jenkin's Green again. And I'm kind of using that Jenkin's Green to keep the gold away from the brown and away from the turquoise, because if I put the gold next to the turquoise, it's going to get really, I mean, I'll do it probably once towards the end because I want that around the edges. But the turquoise will lighten up significantly if I put the gold next to it. So it's kind of like this balancing game. You have your solid colors that you don't want to change, and then you have these buffers between them. So, well, that's how I think about it anyway. Okay, we're gonna go a little bit more yellow. Then some more white. Thicker layer of white now. And then some gold. Okay, now here I'm going to use a thicker layer of the turquoise next to the gold, and you'll see when it comes out we're going to get this pretty pale turquoisey color. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to use the rest of my Van Dyke Brown as a base coat, or as a flow extender, so I'm just going to put a little tiny bit on there because that's going to then flow into what's already on the canvas. Okay, let's move these out of the way. I'm going to thin that brown out a lot, and then we're going to get our flow extender ready. Okay, so that's ready. That's such a cool looking cup. I love this color palette together. Very pretty. Okay, water. Just have about 8 ounces of paint here, and I'm probably going to add 3 ounces of water. So this is our mound on a mound mixture that was the same consistency as everything else. And now because I wanted to use it as a flow extender, as a base coat, I want it much thinner than this paint. So we're right about here. And I'll show you how, can you see that? Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'm going to start with probably an ounce, maybe an ounce and a half there. And we're going to mix that up. Scrape the paint from the sides because it's perfectly good paint. So now the consistency is much thinner. Okay, so we're going to use that as a flow extender around our pour, because I figured out yesterday when I did that in my last painting, rather than lay down a whole base coat and take 5 minutes to smooth it out and make sure it's perfect, I just pour a little puddle in the center, pour my pour, and then after that just use the flow extender around it and smooth that out. Much less time consuming. Okay, so this is our canvas, which way is most level. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm just going to put a tiny bit of this in the middle. I think I'm actually going to put a little puddle of gold on top of there. Okay. All right. You guys ready? I'm so excited about this one. Ooh, anticipation. I love the anticipation. All right. Right there. Okay, we're going to do a ring pour. Okay. That's cool. You get a drip already. I didn't even have any paint on my hands. And it was a cell. Okay. Fix the center right there. Okay. Now, this is perfect. Before we do the flow extender, let's just talk about where we want to do it. I turn my canvas because my paint always goes that way, so now I'm letting gravity work for me and push it back that way. So this is really pretty. I love the darker turquoise and that little bit of brown and the gold, and you see just a bit of the green. That's the green I was telling you about around the edges that's going to be there with the turquoise and the gold touching each other. So what we're going to do is we want to take the comb and go through this, but I've found doing it. It works better if you have like a solid area and you comb the design through the solid area. If you're combing through something really, really, really busy, you're gonna get a lot of lines. So, okay. And then I had another idea. Before I've just been kind of going one across the canvas like this, but I've been thinking about doing like sort of a pattern. Okay, for this one I think I want to just go, because I have that beautiful solid area right there. I think I want to put a layer of gold around the outside of it, and then we're going to use that flow extender. Okay. So this consistency is the same as the consistency as the paint on the canvas already. So I'm kind of anticipating this either moving uniformly or getting swallowed up, which is just fine with me if it swallows it up. Okay, so let's go around it now. I'm gonna move it over this way just a bit. Okay, I kind of want to open up that area that I want to work with. So now I'm going to take the flow extender and go around it. And you can see this is much thinner. Make sure we get some on our corners. Okay. I'm just going to smooth that out. That's lovely. Ooh. Okay, so now the reason that he chose the Van Dyke Brown as the color for the base coat is because that's the color I want dragged through there. And because there's white, that's going to come up also, and there's gold, and there's yellow, so hopefully this one's going to be really cool. Okay, so now, let's see, where were we? We're going to go this way. Okay, let's see if we can't open this up just a tiny bit more. Okay, so now I have this beautiful solid area over there, and I'm going to take the comb and kind of get it into the Van Dyke Brown color. I'm just going to go nice and slow. You ready? That's really neat in there. I love that. It worked! Yay! Okay, I want to try something over here because there's a lot of really pretty lines. I'm just going to go this way. And off. Okay, that's cool. I think I'm going to stop there. All right, let's tilt it. I'm excited. Look how pretty. You see the sun hitting it? Look at that turquoise and that brown. It is such a beautiful palette. Oh, I love this. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna go down this way first and off the edge. And also the other thing I found is I don't want to tilt this too much because I like the design that's on there. I don't want to distort it. This is so gorgeous to me right there. Nice and slow. When you want to slow down, lower the canvas a little bit more and let it flow, and then you just kind of pick it up a little bit to move it. And there's that lovely brown flow extender. Thank you, Mr. Van Dyke Brown. And I'm going to stop right there. Actually, we're going to just hook it right over the corner. Just like that. And then I'm going to bring the weight of the paint back towards the center because it's all over here now. So just lift up on that corner, let it glide. You see this edge now where it grabbed on? It's going to drag all that down. Oh, this is so cool. And we're going to go down to the other corner. Well, actually, let's see. Maybe we'll go down to this edge over here first. Since we're here. take the weight of the paint back to the middle. And I'm just going to go off that corner now. Let the weight of the paint glide down there. Let this part of the design open up a bit. And then we're going to go off that side. Same thing. Up. And let this all just kind of float down. You can see where that thicker gold is under the surface and is spreading. I don't know if you guys can see it. I can see it. Okay. Now the paint's over there at the edge. We're just going to take it down the side and let that go off the corner there, off that side. I wouldn't mind losing some of that gold, so. And take the weight of the paint down a little bit till it's about here, and then we're going to take some of this off. That's pretty cool. We might lose some of that down at the bottom because I want to open up this really turquoisey part. And there's still a lot of paint on here, so I have to take some off. So that's when you pick the part that you like and you tilt off the parts you don't like. And it might change on you, but you gotta accept what the paint is giving you also and work with it. So this is really cool though. Okay. I think we're gonna stop right there. That's got some beautiful lines in it. And I love that swirl. I'm not going to point at it until after I wipe my hands. So I know how much you guys love watching me fix drips. Okay. So one quick word about repouring on the canvas. This one is older. It's been dry for about 6 months, 8 months at least. So if you're going to repour, if you can, repour on something that's been dry for a longer time, because that way you have a less chance of the new pour cracking on top. Cracking happens when the surface of the paint starts to dry faster than the inside, and as it dries it actually splits and separates, and we're like in paper towel shortage mode. It splits and separates and actually will physically crack. So that is, and if you have like temperature differences, like it's cool and then it gets really hot all of a sudden and it dries the surface, that splits open. So you have a much better chance of that not happening if your original painting is cured. Not just dry, but cured. Cured is different than dry. Dry is when you touch the surface and it's dry. Like that one, if I touch it right now, it's dry. It's not going to change at all when I touch it. Fingernail cured. When you take your fingernail at the very edge of the painting and you just kind of push down, if it indents the surface, it ain't dry yet. It's not cured yet. It's dry on the surface, but underneath there still needs to dry longer. Cured is when you push your fingernail down and there's no change. It doesn't dent at all. It doesn't differ. It's completely cured and dry. So that's actually the point where you're supposed to varnish paintings, and they won't crack if you pour on top of it like that. So how many times can you repour on something? In my experience, I don't usually go more than 2. I have a test canvas that I did 3 pours on, and I'm kind of expecting it to crack, but it's a test one. So, but for a big canvas like this, I wouldn't pour on something more than twice. You could try, but don't be surprised if it does crack, because there's just a lot of layers there then. So, okay, this is really neat. Can you see this? This is like amazingly beautiful. Kind of peacocky in here. And this is really cool. I love this. So this is the Jenkins green and the turquoise mixed with the gold and the white a little bit. And it got it a little bit blended in there because I didn't have that color green in my pour. But it's okay. It's very pretty, especially the contrast against the turquoise. And this is what I was really looking for. These beautiful sort of like feathery things. I don't know. I love that swoop. That's really cool. Okay, now stop messing with it. I'm not gonna mess with it. Okay, so this one's awesome. I'm really happy with this. I love how it's turned out, and I'm really having a lot of fun with that comb. If you can find a comb that your kid had and steal it, or wide tooth comb, you don't have to steal anything. So my princess comb, I have scrubbed her face kind of a lot. So wide tooth comb. It doesn't actually. I was thinking of maybe cutting a few of these tines, these like tine thingies, and having more separation between them. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go comb shopping. Anyway, this was really fun. I'd like to say thank you to Molly from Molly's Artistry for her idea of wrecking something. I'm not sure who came up with the comb first, but I love it. I'm having a lot of fun, you know, so I highly encourage you guys to try it. Less is more. Don't go crazy, because you see how busy it is, and that was only 2 swipes. So, because the ring pour is already busy, and then when you take the comb through it, you're creating more effects. So, anyway, this is awesome. Look at how pretty this is in here. This is beautiful. And we're getting some pebbly cells. We didn't torch it, but I don't want a lot of cells. Let me see. Yeah, there's some air bubbles, and I see something just landed in there. Let's see. Hello, bug. I'm very sorry for you, sir. You can go over there. I don't think you're gonna make it though. Okay, so that's cool. I'll show you when it's dry. I see a wave. I see sunlight. I see clouds. Beautiful, beautiful 3D effects. There's that gorgeous part with the comb. So pretty. Very oceany colors in this with the deep turquoise and the Jenkins green. You see the 24 karat gold and the satin enamels. Just beautiful. Really, really pretty. It reminds me of this little seaside escape up in the mountains with the wind blowing, waves crashing. A little Hermitage. There we go. Hermitage by the sea. This is really cool. So, thank you guys for hanging out with me. Hope you have enjoyed this one. Not quite as many challenges as some of the other videos recently. But, you know, it's all good. So, thanks for hanging with me, guys. I will see you for the next one. Please take good care of yourselves. Stay healthy. Stay safe. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.